They say Australia is the land of opportunity, but is that still true in 2025? With rising living costs, automation taking over, and changing immigration policies, is it really a job seeker's market? Or are we walking into a job crisis? Let's break it down. If you're planning to work in Australia in 2025, whether you're an international student, a skilled migrant, or a local, this video is for you. Today, we are diving into the job market trends, which industries are hiring, and the biggest challenges you'll face. And stick around till the end because I'll be sharing the best strategies to land a job fast in Australia's current market, along with some surprising facts that most people don't know. First things first, what's happening with the job market in 2025? Well, it's complicated. On one hand, Australia's unemployment rate is still relatively low. The government reports it's hovering around 4%, which sounds great. But don't let that number fool you, because job security isn't what it used to be. More companies are shifting towards short-term contracts, gig work, and outsourcing, making stable full-time positions harder to find. Let's talk about the industries that are booming. If you're in healthcare, aged care, or disability support, congratulations, you're in demand. The aging population means Australia desperately needs nurses, caregivers, and medical professionals. By 2030, nearly 1 in 5 Australians will be over the age of 65, and this demographic shift is driving a massive demand for aged care workers and home healthcare professionals. The Australian government has also introduced incentives and funding to attract more people into these fields, offering scholarships and subsidized training programs to address the ongoing worker shortage. IT and cybersecurity are also growing fast because businesses are investing heavily in digital security. With cyber threats on the rise, companies are scrambling to protect their data. A recent report found that cybercrime costs Australia over $42 billion annually, and the demand for cybersecurity analysts, ethical hackers, and IT security consultants has never been higher. Major cities like Sydney and Melbourne have become tech hubs, with startups and multinational corporations competing for top talent. And of course, trades like electricians, plumbers, and construction workers are still needed, thanks to ongoing infrastructure projects. The Australian government has committed billions to infrastructure development, including major road, rail, and energy projects. Skilled tradespeople can earn lucrative wages, with some electricians and plumbers making over $100,000 per year. Apprenticeships and vocational training programs also being heavily promoted to fill the growing labor gap. Here's something you might not know. Australia's agriculture sector is also quietly booming, and it's not just about farm labor. There's a growing demand for agri-tech professionals, food scientists, and logistics experts to help modernize the industry. The rise of precision farming, using AI, drones, and automation to optimize crop production, has created new opportunities for tech-savvy workers. The demand for sustainable farming practices is also driving investment in organic agriculture and alternative proteins, with Australia positioning itself as a leader in plant-based and lab-grown meat production. Similarly, the renewable energy sector is expected to create over 40,000 jobs in the next decade as Australia pushes toward net zero emissions. Wind and solar energy projects are expanding rapidly, with massive investments in battery storage and grid modernization. The Australian Renewable Energy Agency, ARENA, has allocated over $1 billion to fund clean energy projects, and the demand for engineers, project managers, and technicians in this sector is skyrocketing. States like Queensland and South Australia are leading the charge, with large-scale solar farms and offshore wind projects expected to generate thousands of new jobs. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Some industries are in decline, and if you're looking for work in these sectors, you may need to rethink your strategy. Retail and hospitality, still recovering from the post-pandemic world and feeling the pinch from rising costs. While tourism has rebounded, many businesses in the hospitality sector are struggling with labor shortages and increasing overhead expenses. Inflation has also impacted consumer spending, leading to slower growth in retail jobs. The shift towards e-commerce has reduced demand for in-store retail workers, and many traditional retail positions are being replaced by self-checkout systems and automated inventory management. Manufacturing? More automation means fewer jobs for factory workers. Robotics, AI-driven assembly lines, and smart manufacturing systems have made production more efficient, but have also displaced a significant portion of low-skilled labor. According to recent industry reports, Australia's manufacturing sector has seen a 15% decline in manual labor positions over the past decade, and this trend is expected to continue. However, there is still demand for highly skilled workers in advanced manufacturing, such as precision engineering and robotics maintenance, and white-collar jobs in fields like accounting and marketing. AI is replacing a lot of entry-level positions, so competition is getting fierce. Automated accounting software and AI-driven financial analysis tools are reducing the need for junior accountants, while AI-powered content generation is transforming the digital marketing space. Companies are now prioritizing employees with AI literacy and strategic problem-solving skills, making it harder for fresh graduates to secure traditional entry-level jobs in these fields. One lesser-known fact is that job applicants today are being judged by AI-powered hiring systems before a human even sees their resume. Many big companies use applicant tracking systems, ATS, that filter out applications based on keywords. A study found that over 75% of resumes are rejected by ATS before they ever reach a recruiter's desk. This means that if your resume isn't optimized with the right industry-specific terms, it might never even be considered. Even more concerning, some ATS programs use AI to rank candidates based on their experience, skills, and even writing style. This has led to a new wave of resume hacking, where job seekers strategically insert keywords and structure their resumes to pass ATS filters. If you're not doing this, you could be getting screened out of job opportunities without even realizing it. And let's not forget wages. Inflation is making it harder for salaries to keep up with the cost of living. Even if you land a job, you might still struggle to cover rent, bills, and basic expenses, especially in major cities like Sydney and Melbourne. In fact, a recent study found that a single person needs at least $55,000 a year just to afford a modest lifestyle in these cities. But here's the problem. Many entry-level jobs don't even pay that much. And let's not forget wages. Inflation is making it harder for salaries to keep up with the cost of living. Even if you land a job, you might still struggle to cover rent, bills, and basic expenses, especially in major cities like Sydney and Melbourne. In fact, a recent study found that a single person needs at least $55,000 a year just to afford a modest lifestyle in these cities. But here's the problem. Many entry-level jobs don't even pay that much. Another shocking fact, some industries are offering higher salaries but still can't find enough workers. For example, mining companies in Western Australia are offering six-figure salaries for truck drivers and machine operators, but they struggle to fill these positions because the work is remote and physically demanding. Some roles require workers to live in isolated mining camps for weeks at a time, working long shifts in extreme heat. While the pay is great, the lifestyle isn't for everyone, which is why companies are constantly struggling to fill these roles. In fact, some companies are even offering hefty sign-on bonuses and fly-in fly-out, FIFO, arrangements to attract workers, but vacancies still remain high. Now, if you're an international student or migrant worker, you have an even tougher challenge. Visa restrictions mean you might be limited to 24 hours of work per week, making it difficult to earn enough to cover tuition and living expenses. The Australian government made changes to work-hour limits post-pandemic, and while it allows some flexibility, many students still struggle to make ends meet. And employers? Some are hesitant to hire people on temporary visas, worried about paperwork, sponsorship obligations, or short-term employment commitments. This makes job hunting even harder. The result? Many international students are stuck doing underpaid, physically exhausting jobs just to survive. You'll often find students working late-night shifts at fast food chains, stacking shelves at supermarkets, or doing grueling labor in warehouses. Some even fall victim to exploitative employers who pay them under the table for less than minimum wage. Wage theft is a serious issue in Australia, especially for international students, with some being paid as little as $10 per hour, far below the legal minimum. But here's where things get interesting. Because despite all these challenges, there are still ways to win in this job market. You just need the right strategy. First, forget applying online like everyone else. Sending out 200 resumes on job websites and waiting for a response? That's a waste of time. Why? Because most online job applications are processed by applicant tracking systems, ATS, and unless your resume is perfectly optimized, it might never be seen by a human recruiter. Instead, focus on networking. In Australia, around 70% of jobs aren't even advertised. They are filled through referrals and word of mouth. Many employers prefer to hire people who come recommended rather than going through the hassle of posting a job ad and sorting through hundreds of applications. So, get out there, go to industry meetups, join professional groups on LinkedIn, and start connecting with people in your field. Even casual conversations at networking events can lead to unexpected job offers. If you're a student, take advantage of career fairs and university networking events. Many companies prefer to hire fresh talent directly from universities before they even graduate. It's not just about what you know, it's about who you know. Second, upgrade your skills. If you're in a competitive field, you need to stand out. Short online courses in AI, data analysis, or project management can give you an edge, especially in industries where automation is replacing traditional jobs. Many platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and LinkedIn Learning offer industry-recognized certifications that can boost your employability. Even learning basic Australian workplace culture and communication skills can make a difference in interviews. Employers value candidates who understand professional etiquette, teamwork, and how to communicate effectively in a local work environment. Here's another secret most people overlook. Volunteering can actually boost your chances of getting hired. Many employers in Australia value community involvement, and volunteering in your field can help you gain experience, expand your network, and even land a job offer. Third, be open to temporary jobs. Sure, you want a high-paying permanent role, but sometimes starting with a contract job or casual position can lead to something bigger. Many companies use short-term hires as a way to test employees before offering full-time contracts. And finally, don't ignore regional areas. Everyone wants to work in Sydney or Melbourne, but guess what? Smaller cities and rural towns have plenty of jobs, often with less competition. In fact, industries like healthcare, construction, education, and agriculture are constantly looking for workers in regional areas. Many employers in these locations even offer relocation incentives, housing assistance, and sponsorship opportunities to attract skilled workers. For example, teachers and healthcare professionals are in high demand in rural towns. If you're a registered nurse, moving to a regional area could mean not only higher wages but also better work-life balance and potential pathways to permanent residency if you're an international worker. Similarly, Australia's agricultural sector is booming, and it's not just about farm labor. There are opportunities in agritech, food science, and logistics. Plus, with the government offering regional migration incentives, working in these areas can be a strategic move for those looking to secure long-term employment and residency in Australia. Another hidden advantage of regional jobs: the cost of living is significantly lower. While rent in Sydney or Melbourne can easily eat up half your paycheck, regional towns offer affordable housing, cheaper groceries, and a less stressful lifestyle. If you're willing to step outside the major metro areas, you could find yourself with a stable job, a better quality of life, and even some savings at the end of the month. So, is 2025 a job seeker's market in Australia? Well, that depends on you. If you go in blind, expecting jobs to fall into your lap, you'll struggle. But if you take the right approach, networking, upskilling, and staying flexible, you can still find great opportunities. Whether it's breaking into a booming industry, leveraging regional job openings, or simply standing out in a competitive field, success is still possible. The job market is tough, but those who adapt, strategize, and put in the effort will always have an edge. Now, if you want to learn more about how to survive in Australia as an international student or job seeker, check out the next video on your screen right now. Don't miss it.